All right, we're going to start over again. We were rudely interrupted. Okay, so what we have, we're going to start looking for the coins that we're going to be using in our example, in our case study here for June. Just So we're going to, we're here at coincheckup.com. I saw one of these other scopers that I follow using this, and it seems to have everything we need for our little study. So I've chosen this for the study. I've also incorporated into our software that we use in our cryptocurrency program. So that's being implemented, and the reason I'm not showing you the software right now is because what we need to do when we use the software, the software rendering of the site, whenever we click on the site, I have no control over that. It will open a pop-up window anyway. So either way, we'll be looking at a browser. So we might as well just start there and just get that. What I was going to do also is get the URLs to incorporate them into our software for the case study to make it easier to, in the following scopes and screens, to just show the software and see where we stand. So that's basically what's going to be happening. Now, as you can tell by what I just described, the software that we use in our premium membership, and you can read all about that at classicforum.com/mine, M-I-N-E. The premium membership brings that software, that's part of that premium membership, a main part of it. And as you can gather, whenever I do tests and case studies, those are automatically incorporated into your software, so you will have access to any type of investigative research type of project that I'm working on concurrently, and so that's an added benefit of having our software as part of your membership. So anyway, let's get into this. Now, when you first get into Coin Checkup or any one of these trackers, they're going to rank your coins usually by the ones that are trading higher market trading volume, which usually then lands you with the typical Bitcoin and Ethereum in second place. You have your third place now as Ripple, and you got Bitcoin Cash here, EOS, Litecoin, and what have you, your others. These are typically the most more well-known. The Monero is 12 at this point. You got Tron here at the 10th, IOTA, etc. So you've heard about these, Dash and Quantum here. So these are things that you've been hearing about mostly. So they show up on the front rows. But for our investigation, for our test study, what we want to do is that this is where we start setting our parameters. As I first said, the parameters that we're going to first incorporate are my own. They're not based on any other type of any professional thinking or anything like that. They're just my thoughts up to date on what would make a good test. It's simply, that's what it's all about. Since we are not recommending anyone to make these actual investments, so that's not something you want to do because of this. Because there's no thinking more than just my own thoughts. And the reasoning for this, the reason that I'm not putting any more into it than that, other than what we do here during these streams, is because part of this test is how a regular Joe can approach cryptocurrency and what the result will be. Simply. So that is part of the test. My naivete is part of this test. Although I grant you I'm not really as naive as your typical naive person, but in terms of the what we're trying to do, day trading and all that, I'm just even though I do have more knowledge than most, I'm not really trying that hard to put any more sound thinking into it than just what I'm going to talk about here. So again, I'm not the test isn't skewed or affected by my having more knowledge. I'm not applying any of that really to this, and again, we're not actually making any real investments, and we're not suggesting that you do either. Simply, we're just going to play with this. Alright, so you have here the different parameters. 1 hour is not what we need to be looking at right now at this juncture. What the first thing I'm looking for actually is this graph, the 7-day price graph here. This is what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for certain patterns, or a pattern that I feel that, and again, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the ability to create a day-to-day income. So what does that mean? It means that I need buys and sells on a daily basis. I need to be able to see that the coin, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, basically on a daily basis. Okay. So this, and it doesn't, and there's no guarantee. This is the problem with the volatile market that cryptocurrency is there's no guarantee that this will stay that way. I mean, it's the great possibility that once I invest in this pattern, it goes dead. So that is a real possibility. But it's in terms of the whole market, it is unlikely that it would happen, because simply, I mean, there is movement in this thing, in these things on a day-to-day basis. So there's basically, I'm just looking for activity. Now there's other ways to look at activity, but again, I'm not going to look at those factors. I'm just looking now at a pattern of day-to-day activity. Another thing I want to do is, since I don't want to invest too much money, I'm looking for a price, low prices. So so I hit the price category here, and then it goes to the very highest, which you can see is no longer Bitcoin. It's actually something called Bit20. This is a token. These are not coins. They're tokens. They're more like hedge funds type of thinking here. But we're not interested in that at this point. So I'm going to hit the price thing again. It should give me the low. It's the lowest price coins. And basically we're going to look at the pattern. Now this is the thing I'm looking for. Just to give you the idea is that, like, you see this here with strong hands coin or token, whatever that is. You see that, you can see that, let's see if we can get that thing out of the way here. Yeah, you see that it goes up a little, it goes up and down the last 7 days, but it's really just heading downwards. Right now it has a little spike going up. It's the lowest that it's been in all these 7 days. that it spikes up right now, it could be an indicator. Let's just look at what that is. So I'm going to open that up and just to take a look at what that is. Okay, and basically, as you can see here, that it has volume increasing over these past few days, more so than it had before. You also have to understand where the market is. Right now, the market is down, right? So anything that's going down right now is not a surprise. So but we're not going to even consider that. Just understand that that's part of what's happening right now. We have a price movement that this site gives us here. In the last hour, we had a minus 3.35% price movement. Let's see if I can get this bigger for you guys here. So you had a 3.35% negative in the last hour. But in the last 30 days, the last month, they've had a 7.78% on the positive. The last 90 days, though, it's a minus 16%, 43. Okay, so they've had a third of the time they've had winning months. So this is going to. They had a maximum drawdown in a day of 73%, right? 73.37. All-time high, 0.0008. And an all-time high, that's an all-time high in USD. And the Bitcoin, that's the amount in Bitcoin. So it has a volatility rate of 76%. And we have to make note of these volatility rates on a monthly basis. I think that's a factor that we need to consider. 63% product strength. Let's look at the idea. Do they have a fully working product or just an idea? Is it open source? Does it have a clear roadmap? Is it released and generally available? Okay, so those are the typical positive traits of a coin: a fully working product, or if it's just an idea. Is it open source? Okay, does it have a clear roadmap? Is it released and generally available? So these are the things you want to look at. Open channels, are they open for discussions on Slack, Telegram, or at least offer a contact form or email address on their website? Are they accessible? On the GitHub, are they continuously active on GitHub developing their product? And do they have a sizable community? Another thing. Okay. Coin strength. Let's see if we can get some more of that. They have something there, but you can't read it. So anyway, something about being stable. Has it been growing strongly since its release as compared to the general market since then? So that one's been doing 53%. Brand awareness buzz. How large and active is the community compared to the rest of the market? Again, 50%. 50%. And 50% at being such the lowest, the cheapest coin now available is pretty good. 50%. People are talking about that. So, and this also talks to you, it tells you a lot about the market. Then the activity on social media, are they active, such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and that's 70%. So overall, everything here is 50 and above. 50 and above. It gives it a 2.9, almost 3 out of 5 for being the cheapest coin. That's surprising. Surprising. For me. Now, these are the fundamentals here. Circulating supply, total supply, maximum supply, which is everything here. They're all the same figure. So the circulating supply at this moment is the maximum supply. The product status is prototype MVP, decentralized consensus proof of work and proof of stake, and they're using a SHA-256 algorithm, and that's important for the mining of it. Okay, the technical analysis of it, this is, I guess, based on the past day, as we saw, even though there's a spike recent, a very recent spike, it's a strong sell. A strong sell that was updated yesterday. Today is Friday. So yesterday was a strong sell. They're having a coin swap. Bitcoin. And so we see an initial activity that they had on GitHub. This is just looking at the comments and whatnot. The commits, the blue spike there, a lot of commits here early on, and then it starts dropping down, and then the last time that anything registering commits were 3. So that's basically where that stands right now. Okay, what about this coin? Strong Hands, also known as Strong Hands and Peer-to-Peer Coin, is the first cryptocurrency design introducing proof of stake consensus as a security model, with a combined proof of stake, proof of work minting system. Strong Hands is based on Bitcoin. So again, so when you see that something is based on Bitcoin, and you know that Bitcoin's taking a hit in the marketplace, then this should show the same thing. You know, it's based on Bitcoin, so Bitcoin's taking a hit, so you should expect that this would take a hit as well. Anything that is based on Bitcoin, you know, makes sense, right? It should also get hit. Strong Hands is based on Bitcoin while introducing many important innovations to cryptocurrency field, including new security model, energy efficiency, better minting model, and more adaptive response to rapid change in network computational power. So that's basically an innovation to the mining process, and that's the security model. So it's the mining process and the proof of stake consensus, which is the innovation. Okay, so that is what's offered to us at this point. Let's look at the chart. That's the overview. Now, as we can see here, these are the day-to-days. This has been a month. This is the month view. As you can see it going through the month. What we need is a day-to-day range. So let me see if we can pull that up here. Last 7 days. So let's get the last 7 days. Alright. So this is the upswing that we were noting on the chart on the main page. So and again, this is, let's see what this is here. This is we have the price and market capitalization. We have this crossover period right here. So at the price, we're really interested in this bottom line here in terms of the price. As you can see, the price goes up and down, very much so during the last 7 days. The last 7 days, let's go to the low within the last 7 days, May the 25th. The low was at 0.00000066. Okay, That's like the opposite of millions right there. Unless I'll call that minus 66 million. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to look at this in a educated way. I'm going to look at it just like anyone out of the back of the pickup truck would look at. Okay, 66 minus 66 million, and then the high for the week. Let's see if we can get this chart out of the way. It's here. This point here was the high, which was May 30th, 4 days or 5 days from where we started with the low. And that's at 1, 2, 3, that's at 85, negative 85 million. Okay. That's the price of it going higher. And I only say negative, and it's only because it's not a dollar. So I'm just using that as opposing to a dollar. Okay, so it's still in the negative range from a dollar, and it's 85 is better than the low of 66. And the difference is just 20. If you look at it, it's 2019 is the difference there within these 5 days here. And then it drops down again. It's here today actually. It's here at 58. So right now, today it went the lowest it's been, and now, right about now, it looks like it's just 65. It's just one beneath the low for the week. So that's basically where it's at now. Okay, so what's my thinking on this? And since we're not making actual investments, we may select this coin. It doesn't matter if you can or cannot buy this coin. In actuality, again, we're not suggesting purchasing these coins, so it doesn't matter if it's available or not. It's something that's being tracked, and what we're doing is a case study on the tracking and philosophy of buying and selling. So this would work. We can use something like this for our analysis. Okay, so in terms of the first requirement, and let me just make I want to make as we go along, it's good that we make a list, because what I want to do, let me see if I can make the list here. I'm going to use edit pad. Alright, we'll make a list here. And so a consideration list. We'll use this as the crypto 30-day test, and we're going to do these are the consideration for choosing the coins. So basically what we're looking for is we're looking for 7-day buy and sell opportunities. That's our first criteria. The second is we're looking for daily income. Daily income is our second. Now, within the scope of daily income, we're trying to shoot for, if possible, $100 a day. It's what we're going to shoot for. Not that we'll be able to do that, but I think $100 a day is a good low point that, you know, it should, if that can be achieved with a low entry point, then that becomes a viable method. Simply, you know, if you can put in, and as I said, we're going to have an initial investment. Again, it's a dummy investment. No one's investing here, of $20 US. And if you can realize eventually, I do not expect to make from the $20 $100 immediately. So that's not, it would be good that at the end of the 30-day trial period, we would have added to our $20. So let's put that down as well. What we're looking for also is to increase our initial investment, and we want to do that to enable goal number 2. So we want to be able to increase the daily, increase our initial investment till that we'll be able to produce $100 a day. Crypto 30-day test, and we're going to use $20 based on a $20 investment. Ridiculously low amount of money. And again, this is based on the gambling sites that you can see on some YouTube videos where some people have, you know, they make through those casinos, online casinos and whatnot, they're creating at least $100 more or less for 15 or 30 minutes worth of play time. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can replicate that, not in half an hour, that'd be good, but at least during the day, that you can make at least $100. So again, it's just a test. Okay, and then this is the increase our initial investment to enable goal number 2. So these are some of the parameters. So we're looking for 7-day buy and sell opportunities, and that's a patterned buy and sell. Okay, so we're looking to then have a daily income of $100. This will play a role later on, not now in the beginning, but I will use it to consider which coins I'm going to take. And then increase our initial investment so that this can be possible. In other words, if I can only make with the $20, if I can only let's say double it, then that would be $40, and then I can then take the $40 and then do it again. That will make $80, and then I should be able to take $50 of that and do it again and make the $100. And if we can get it to that amount, then that is good. I think that fulfills our requirement. So again, we'll be fine-tuning that as we go along. So I think this is what we're looking for. So that we understand that the test does not require available coins for this test. And they don't have to be available coins. So as long as they're tracked, only trackable for now. Again, we're going to learn the differences of why some are not available and they're still trackable and whatnot. I should say only charted, right? As long as it's showing up on the charts and you see the buy and sell, does not require available coins, only charted. Or we can just put these in parentheses. Alright. And let's see. The test does not require, it's not heavy reliance on coin viability factors. We're not considering that. Again, that's another reason why you shouldn't use what I'm doing here as a as a strict guide, and you shouldn't be investing in what I'm doing because I'm not investing. So no one is investing here in this. This is simply a test. So and because of that, we're not relying heavy on the coin viability factors. What I'm testing is simply testing the market, not the viability of the coin. Okay, just what people are doing on the market. That's what we're writing that. That's it. Human psychology, the volatility of humans scared and worried and trying to make agreed, whatever it is that's going on in the market. That's what we're playing against. Not anything to do with the viability of a coin. And again, this is no suggestion on how you guys should be doing this. Obviously, not the way to do any investing. Again, but our program has nothing to do with investing your own money. We have our members do not worry about the money because their money is safe. Okay, so that's the reason we can do this. We can do this because our own money is safe. We're not losing anything. They can close down cryptocurrency tomorrow and our people still making real money, USD, regardless, doesn't matter. Okay, and then we have so as we go along, I'll fill in these things. So I'm going to also put in my choices as I go along, and we're looking for 4 choices, and I'll be changing them as I see something that I like better, so I'll be doing so. We're going to select in this initial stage, we're going to select 3 coins from it. But okay, so right now we're just for the sake of argument, we're looking at the strong hand, is it? Strong hand. So I'm going to put this here. It's just, this is not a decision for it. It's just keeping our stronghold, strong hand coin. It's just keeping our, it's like bookmarking what we were looking at. Okay. So getting back to this, going by our criteria, which is again, let me look at, can I do this? Tile tab, yeah. Okay, so here we got the criteria here. So Going by that criteria, this coin, the 7-day buy and sell opportunities, it has that pattern. The only problem, let's look at this. Now this has as we were noting before, that at its low is 68, right now is 65. So basically the way I look at things like that, and it was 65, right? Now it's 64, so it's even lower. It was 65 a few minutes ago. So this will show you how quickly these things move. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, yeah, it was 65. What's it mean? Okay, so in any case, it just dropped down just a shaving, if my memory serves me well. So, it's like I said, to the low here was 68. So right now it's the lowest, it's not the lowest, because the lowest was 58. But in any case, that's the lowest it's been, 58 in the last 7 days. Now going, let's look at it, the last 30 days. So the last 30 days, the lowest, let's see, was, I think back over here, was 41. See the prices on that top? 41 was the lowest. Okay, right now it's 64. So you see that within the last month, so it went from a low of 41 to a low of 64, which is 23 higher. Okay, so the low is higher right now. Now let's go through the highs. This thing had a high of 94 in comparison. That's almost twice, that's over twice the low here, right? 42, 41. Over twice. So what I'm trying to say is that if we had started this test with the $20 back over here May 6th, we would have then at probably by the 22nd of the month, we would have realized that at minimum from this point on, let's say about here, 48, we would have gotten in at 48 here. And then that would have rolled all the way up to 94. And we would have gotten out with double the money practically. So from the initial $20 to $40 in the scope of a few days. That's May 19th through the 22nd, 3 days later. Okay, 3 days later, you would have doubled the money on that. So what's happening is that day to day, as you can see here, day to day, this is not producing enough of an up and down. It produces enough to fulfill the increasing our initial investment goal. So it's enough for us to increase the initial investment over some time, but it's not making enough to do anything close to this, whichever way you want to look at it. So this makes this coin a stretch to incorporate. So this is a stretch here. Let's look in the last 7 days again. Well, what we can look at is the last 6 months or forever. Let's look at the forever. I'm curious about when this thing started. Now, when this first started, apparently, it was really high. This is the danger when coins start coming out. They have an initial, they start out high in terms of the coin itself, not in terms of Bitcoin. And soon after this initial release, that people start buying it, and then they start selling. Those who got in early, they begin to sell, and this thing dropped like a rock. So they sell off everything, and then it hits bottom. So this thing's been trying to get off from the bottom for such a long time here. You see, it's almost from the June of 2016, May, April that it hit, April, May of 2016, now 2 years ago. 2 years. It's been scraping the bottom, waxing the bottom here. And then 2 years before this thing starts popping up. And again, we're only dealing with a shaving of 20 points here. 20. I mean, it's the 6 zeros there, 6 zeros there. So now here it's 63 with 6 zeros. Yeah, so I mean, we're talking about very minute quantity in this coin that's happening. So nothing to speak of, and it's, you know, this pattern, this is so far away from what we would want to feel good about. I mean, in the 7-day aspect, it looks, you know, doable. But given this, its long history of and being so little increases here, it doesn't look like it's a coin that we're going to stay with. So let's continue looking. Let's go. We'll continue looking again. We adjust for the price here, and that was strong hand over here. Strong hands, and see where we can. We're also looking for we want the 7-day over here. And also here you can drag and really create the chart the way you want it, the way you want to look at it. So you can do that. We clicked on the 7-day, so that's why it's changed. But let's get back to what we had. So we get the 7-day, and when I want to get here also, I have the price there. Price is not showing up fully, so let's get the price. All right, and then and that's really all that I want to look at. So This is we're just looking for the 7-day in price. That's all we're looking at, and then we're going to analyze it from there. I guess it won't harm to look at the last hours. Let's look at the 24 hours. And that's after that. Each time you shift the chart, you have to reset for the parameters you want. Alright. I know what else I want to see. I do need to see I want to see the graphic chart. That's what I want to see. Okay, so here it gives you can customize the chart. So I want to do the changes are fine here. I don't need that. I don't need that. Don't need that for what I'm doing. I don't need any scoring, no action buttons. What I do need to see the mini graph. That I do want. Okay, and so that's what I want there. So then we just adjust this and bring that everything into view. Alright, so here's another one which is probably going to end up the same way as this one. Here's one that seems to be heading upward. It would have not qualified either for what we're trying to do. If it keeps doing an up and down, then there'll be something we can consider at another time. This one has a little more action to it. So it goes from 246 here to 228. That's the type of thing. It does have more action than the other ones. Sloth coin seems to be heading outward. Let's take a look at this because it would be something that many of you would normally will take a look at. So the overview has an increase in action here, as you can see. And that action is more than you had here at its beginnings. So that's there, but the price doesn't seem, but again, it's in a market period that the Bitcoin is heading down, right? This was when, and this is the last month here, so yeah, and Bitcoin heading down, Bitcoin was popping up back then, right? Okay, so let's see what else we can glean from this. This doesn't look like it's going to have any action availability. It looks like a coin that doesn't seem to be too readily available. You can see here in the last 30 days is really just not doing much. So this obviously is not something that probably we will want to look at earnestly. So sloth coin is not going to work for what we want to do. Here's the rabbit coin. Rabbit coin seems to have some movement. You can see the pricing is always going up and down here, regardless of the volume. So that's interesting. And then again, it's interesting for the uneducated mind. And then you have winning months, 67%, all-time highs at the in USD. 30 days volatility, 763%. That's big. That is big. Now on the algorithm score, this is less than the our other coin that we've chosen, right? 1.4 in 5, so it had 0% GitHub activity. Product strength at 60, communication channels 100%. The coin strength is only at 23%, and that's based on whatever factors they're using. The buzz is at 10%, not much buzz to it. It's a fully working product. It's proof of work. They're having 2 new exchange launches. What we need to look at is what's the purpose of this. This is something that I do look for. This is a Rabbit is an experiment in fast hashing blocks combined with the Kimoto gravity well technology, using the same reward and block parameters as Dogecoin. We've increased the block find and retarget rates to reach a quicker end of life cycle, while preventing large multiple pool abuse with the gravity weight, the the Kimoto gravity well difficulty recalculated. Seems to be no abstract with that. Let's look at news, a bunch of tweets. They seem to be airdropping 500 million Rabbit coins. That was 3 months ago. There's been nothing for 3 months. So basically 3 months ago, the last things happened. Let's see if there's anything in the forum here. There's nothing there. No one's brave enough to say anything about that. Let's see what markets this is in. Nothing, like I said, none of these coins don't need to be in any market for us to do our test with. Rabbit coin price prediction based on worldwide money flows. And then they're always showing, this is probably a very common graph that you'll see. Most of these are supposed future possibilities. Most of the coins will show a graph like this. It's just simply, well, there's more people, there's more money, there's more demand, so it's obviously going to grow. You got this is worldwide money flow, Bitcoin's growth. Let's look at that. So these are basically other things that you need to look at, but it doesn't matter for our test. This coin is 45 months old, has a lot of volatility in it. 7-day volatility 368%, 0.59%, but we're talking at shavings here. They're shavings, but that's the percentages. It's what we're looking at. And the reason we're not afraid of looking at these negatives because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in our philosophy with our program, and it doesn't matter for what we're trying to achieve. It really doesn't. Simply, and a lot of this person, when you have any other opportunity to get into crypto than to do something like this, regardless of what the other factors are. So basically, this test is based on that. It's based on, you're going to turn 20 into 40 and 40 into 80. It doesn't matter the long-term perspectives of a coin. What matters is what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And again, we're basing this on a premise of casino gambling, in terms that if you had put this money in a slot machine, simply it's money you're spending to play. And what would happen if we played with this and put it in and took out an appropriate time? It's just simply, the premise to this whole test is, since U.S. citizens cannot legally play the casino games that you see others using to double, triple their Bitcoin or their cryptocurrencies with, then how can we use the market itself to achieve the same thing? Is it possible? So it's basically what we're looking at. These are the different scores on what we saw already. Again, most of this stuff is not what we are at least worried about at this point. Okay, so let's look at the price charts now. These are the 30-day chart. Let's do the 7 days now. And right now, the price of this is at the 1042 at and this is not a negative million. This is at a in the what do you call the 100,000s. Well, really, yeah, just a little more than that. But I'll read the number backwards. It's the minus 10,000, negative 10,000 range. And again, I explain myself. Why am I saying negative 10,000? Well, what I'm doing is simply flipping the number. It's below the dollar. So anything below the dollar and below cents, below the penny, I'm going to make it, turn it into as if you flipped over a regular number, read it backwards. That's all, because it's all we need to do. And I'm doing this because most people don't know how to read these numbers. They just don't understand these numbers. They get so minuscule. So I just flip it. What I do is I flip it to make it, I guess that you can understand. Now, but again, if the number is getting higher, it's not that it's more negative. So if I say now this number becomes a 2042, it's not that it's more negative than a 1042. In other words, that it's lesser. No, it's actually greater. Because what you want to look at, or what we're looking at, is really just those last numbers. The first number where the real number appears, no zeros, and the rest of it, that's set right there. That is where you, for our test, we're going to just consider that. So right now it's 1042, and what you have to do is be careful if the zeros, if another zero is added, that means it's smaller. a zero is reduced, if it now becomes 3 zeros in, you have a very greater number than you had before. So that's good as well. So you just look at the zeros as a delimiter. It's just like a barrier or a distance from the penny, which is the second zero in, after the period. So you know how far down from a penny you're at. It's just simply, that's the way you need to look at it. And simply what we're looking for, if you want to double your money with this coin, for example, you want the 1042 to become a 2084, for example. 2084. The same amount of zeros in front. You've doubled your money. This is how you have to look at this. So we're not talking about a lot of money in terms of the single coin price. But it is a lot when you realize that if you put in $1, you've just doubled it to $2. This is how the thinking is and how it actually works. So that's what we're looking at. It doesn't matter that it's just a minuscule amount. A minuscule amount doubled is double the minuscule amount. And if you invested or put in a minuscule amount, you've doubled it. That's just the simplicity of it. It's simple. Okay, so there you have, and for this, what we want to do is we also want to bring out a chart. So let me go find a chart here. Where's my, let's see, open Office Calc, yeah. Okay, what we want to do, we just want to just make a listing of, just make a listing here of the different, and I'm sure they have it listed someplace, but I'm just going to do it. I want to start always at the low, the lowest in the this is a 7-day. Let me, last 7 days. So we want to get the lowest amount here, and that is 773 with 5 zeros in front of it. So that's the lowest. This is, let's put the name of this is Rabbit Coin. Rabbit Coin. There's this Rabbit Coin, and the lowest amount that we see here was 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, let me just, 0.00, oh, what happened here? Gotta watch that. Alright, so we do Rabbit Coin. And then we have here 0.0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's 773. 773. So that's the low that we see. Then it goes up here. This was last Friday to 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Point 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 2740. 2740. Now we're going to do the numbers, and this is currency. Okay, currency. And then what I want to do is the alignment, which I want a left alignment. Okay, so what that did was cancel out, because decimal places. See the decimal places? Leading zeros 1, and you need to increase this to 8 decimal places. Okay. Alright. So 8 is good for what we want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's basically what we're dealing with here. Okay. And so you can see right offhand that on May the 25th, this was at 1800, 3 hours later, 8 hours later, apparently, 8 hours later. In 8 hours on May 25th, you had at least a doubling of Rabbit Coin that occurred. A doubling of Rabbit Coin. That's what happened there. So you could have doubled your money on a day trade in one day there. If you had $50 in Rabbit Coin invested in that day, you would have come out of it with 100. If you had, in other words, for you to have made $100 a day, or for that day, according to our specs, you needed to have at least $100 in, and you would have come out with doubling that $100. You would have had $100 day. That's what would have happened with Rabbit Coin for you on May the 25th. Then it goes down, same day, a little later at night, starts going down, continues the next morning, and then everyone gets up and at them, they go into it again, and it goes up to 3060. Again, if you were playing it like a trader plays it, you would have not taken out all your money yet. You may have sold 50% of it and gotten out $50 from your monies. You would still be in it with $100 at this point, and that 100 would now go up, and you would have gone to 30, which is almost a 4 times. Let me say, did I say double? No, I'm sorry. I misspoke there. Actually, you may triple your money, almost 4 times your money. I don't even know how I told you double, but it's actually you quadrupled your money before. Now with this $30, you did it again. So I was mistaken. So let's look at this. Let's get the calculator. Let's go to the calculator. And a great facility. Kudos to Google for the calculator. Yeah, that's what we all need. Okay. So using the calculator, we will start with the new number. and we'll divide that by the old number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 773. And then you will see that it's an increase of 3.54 times. So let's say 3.54. We had invested 20 bucks, so let's go times $20, right? You would have made, you would have increased your holdings to $70. $70 from the initial $20 invested on that day. Now we add the third development, which is now where is this at? This is 30, 60. 0.00003060. So, and again, for this we should use the other sheet that I have here. Let's see if I can pull it up here. See if I can pull this thing up here. Yeah, let me try to get out desktop here. Okay, and for this we'll just and we'll list okay. Alright, so what we want to do is put in the price here. The original price I see, which was let me get the original price here. Okay, the original price, the low, is what we want to get, and the low was the 773. So right, so this is the low number, and what we want to do is put that in. We want to put that in here. Let me just. The initial entry point was 0.12345,773. Okay. Now, what we did is that we brought $20 worth. So let's get that amount. Okay, so let's get that amount here. So we're going to look at well, no, I'm going to clear that. We're going to look at $20, and we're going to divide that by 0.050, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 773. So if we were purchasing Rabbit Coin on May the 25th, early in the morning, we would have bought it at the price you see, 0.0000773. And the amount of coins that we would have had would have been 2,587,322 coins. Now, we're not worried if there doesn't exist that amount that you can buy. Again, that is not what we're looking at this point. We'll take a look at that, but that's not what we're concerned with. What we're concerned with right now is just assuming that it was available and you can buy it simply. And then now with the 2,587,322 coins with the point whatever, doesn't matter really for what we're doing, then we can times that, we can multiply that. That's how many coins we have, and then we can realize what the profit was. But anyway, this is the amount. Let us go and put that into the our spreadsheet that we're working with. 2,587,322. So let's see. So we'll put that in here. 2 million, right? Let me just paste that here so I can look at it. 2,587,322. Okay, so that's our initial, and I'll change this from shares to units. So units, total units. Okay, so so that's what we have. So then what we're going to do is put in the first amount, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2740, that it did go up by. And the question was how many of these would we have sold, and we would have sold half. It's just the understanding that I've garnered so far is that you don't get entirely out, but you do want to take profit. So we will take half of what we have. So that's half of 258,000, 2 million, I should say, would be 1,250,000, but then you have 1,250,000. You have the 250, and then you have 30. This is 280. No, you have 4. So let me just take half of. What is half of that? I'm trying to do it here on the fly. Let me get the calculator. I'm going to divide that by 0.5, and that would be 500. I did say divided, right? Okay, let's do this again. 2, 5, 8, 7, 3, 22, and we're going to divide that by 50%. Or take away. Yeah, that's the problem. Dividing when I should be removing. Take away 50%. And this is a 50% equals. So then this is the amount that we sold. 129,3661. That's 12,936. So 12,936. 12,000. Okay, back. 12,936. 12,936.61. All right. Okay, this isn't working right, so I'm going to have to use the other thing that supposedly works right. Let me get this. This is one I got from another trader. This is a professional trader, and he provided this wonderful thing. So I'm going to use his. See, this is supposed to be equals F13. So let's just look at this here. Okay. Let me change that to units. This to units. Alright, and then okay, this was the initial price. Or the average price. Alright. So what we have there is you have the profit. And so we have a $50 profit from our $20 investment. So remember, we put in $20. So that's what you gotta understand. This is, and I gotta see why the top one isn't working. I'm gonna troubleshoot that. Oh, it is working actually. So it did work here. Alright, so let me just add on to the other one. I mean, I just looked like for a moment that it wasn't working, but actually is working. So then we add this other one, 0 point. I'm going to finish off here. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 30, 60, and we will again uh, copy that amount, and we've totally come out here, as you can see. And the total amount is now, okay, yeah, I see what's happening. Yeah. Okay, so the total amount here, as it shows here, is 67, but that's not really what we did, because we did not add anything here. Okay, we just sold. I see what I'm making the mistake, actually. It's my mistake. Sorry about that. That's my mistake. So what I'm not doing is, this is a sale, so I have to put in the negative. So I sold that. Okay. Now we add this other one, 0.0004, right? And then 3306. And then we sell again at minus 129, 3661. We sold that, so we're out. So this tells us that we're out now, and there's a total profit of $55. So in the scope of that day, and let me just check this again. Let me just check this again. We still got this out there, so this doesn't matter really. So, and when we took this and we sold half of it, we doubled our money essentially. We had we made $25 there from this jump. $25 from our 20. We still had, you see, you still had the 20 in there. We took out half of the money, so that we took like 10, right? And 10, we took out 20, and we let the rest ride a little further, and then that gave us the rest of the profit. So let's do that again. Minus 1293661, and now so now that gives us nothing in the investment, nothing there. We're not invested anything. And then let me just, for the sake of argumentation, let me just correct this here, because down here we're just adding, and that's of course not the facts. Okay, so yeah, so according to here, so this bottom one's not matching the top, but I'll figure out why that is happening. In either case, that shows that we made a profit. We made a profit. So that's the thing we need to look at. Okay. So I'm going to call it a break here and get something to eat, and I'll be back later as we continue our research into day trading with at a low entry point, Bitcoin and crypto. Now, if anyone's interested in our program, you should head out to our program. Has nothing to do with what you're seeing here, by the way. Our program does not involve any investment risk to you. It's actually the best program possible that you can ever hope to be a part of. So it's well worth your time to look into it at classiforium.com, classiforium.com, and /mine, /mine, where you can take a look at that program. I don't think I have a slide for you at this point, but we have a daily drawing when people log in for that or register for that by purchasing a mine or purchasing a month membership, actually, in our program. It's only going to run you about $10. You're saving $15 from the regular fee. /mycbh, and after that / you put in the number 10, 10, 10, and it will automatically fill in the amount. If not, just one of three things. The first drawing will be to determine which of the three memberships the wheel will pick the winner. So you can either win that's the one you really make big money with. So you really do want that one. And then there's the third membership, which is the mine owner. Miners, and they pay you royalties. So you're making royalties. You have exclusive income streams, and just to give you an idea, it's only available to mine owners, and that's just one. You can buy it right now at today's price. And then obviously use the link you see on your screen to send me those $10